Anyone? Sino pong gustong mauna?
10,000.
Otherwise, ano na lang, draw lots. Wala po? Wala po? Okay, Miss Janela.
10,000.
Yung group na lang po namin, ma'am. Group 3 po.
Okay. You will be presenting anong material po?
Biomaterials po.
Okay. Sige. Okay, you may start your presentation now. Thank you.
Kaya, ang question
Ayan po. So, good afternoon, everyone. The topic that was assigned to our group is the biomaterials. So, for the content of this discussion, we will be discussing first is the introduction to biomaterials, including its definition, the historical development, and its classification. Next is the types of biomaterials. Third one is the properties of biomaterials. Another is biomaterial processing. Number 5 is the applications of biomaterials. Sixth is the material selection of biomaterials. And lastly is the challenges and recent advances in biomaterials. So to proceed, let us discuss first the introduction to biomaterials. So I have provided here 3 definitions for biomaterials. So the first one is according to the dictionary, which it defines biomaterials as a synthetic or natural material suitable for use in constructing artificial organs and prostheses or to replace bone or tissue. So, this means na ang biomaterials ay tumutukoy siya sa mga materials na nag-i-interact with biological systems, including living tissues na nagsaserve ng specific purpose. And nabanggit din dito na suitable for use. So, this phrase, it emphasizes that biomaterials must meet certain criteria to be considered for use in biomedical applications. Yung mga criteria na to, it includes the biocompatibility, mechanical properties, and the ability to perform specific functions within a biological environment without causing harm or adverse reactions. So, yung mga nabanggit ko na criteria, madidiscuss pa siya or mas ma-explain pa siya later by the other reporters. And then, nabanggit din dito na for constructing artificial organs and prostheses. So, ibig sabihin, ang biomaterials, it can be used to create or repair body parts or organs that may be damaged or missing, such as artificial hearts, limbs, or even synthetic tissues. Another, so ang purpose niya ay yung to replace bone or tissue. So, ibig sabihin, ang biomaterials, it can provide structural support at help sa pagre-regenerate ng new and healthy tissues. Another definition, biomaterial is a material derived from or produced by biological organisms like plants, animals, bacteria, fungi, and other life forms. These are also called biologically derived materials. Ibig sabihin, ang biomaterials ay it can be obtained or synthesized from biological sources or substances produced by these organisms. Example nito ay silk from silkworms or cellulose from plants. So yun yung mga pwedeng maging examples. And then bakit siya tinawag na biologically derived materials? Because they are sourced from natural world. These materials have unique properties and characteristics that are influenced by their biological origins. For example, materials na derived from marine organisms, meron silang mga properties na suited for underwater applications. due to their adaptation to aquatic environments. And then the last definition, a material used for a biological purpose, such as biomedical applications like treating an injury or growing biological cells. This may be synthetic. So, itong definition na to, it just highlights the purpose and versatility of biomaterials, especially in the context of biomedical applications. So, sinabi rin dito na this may be synthetic. So, pwedeng maging yung mga biomaterials, pwede rin siya maging man-made. So, I think that's enough for the definition of biomaterials. Now, let us proceed to the historical development of biomaterials. Earliest operations were performed by surgeons for restoration of missing parts. So, yung mga surgeons during ancient times, so sinimulan na nila yung mag-perform ng operations para mag-restore ng mga missing body parts. For example, ay yung nose. So, dito, si Sushruta in 600 BC, he repaired injured nose with a patch of living flesh taken off from the region of the cheek. So, si Sushruta ay siya yung kilala bilang father of Indian surgery. At siya rin yung nag-pioneer ng reconstructive rhinoplasty. So, after that, nagkaroon na ng skin flap grafting during the 1430 up until 15th century. So, ano to? They made use na ng skin flap grafting, taken skin from the arms to reconstruct noses. So, this marked an early form of tissue transplantation. And after that is the steel plates for fracture repair during the 1893 to 1912. So, during this period, steel plates were designed for use in fracture repair. This marked a significant advancement in the materials and techniques used for medical applications. And then after that, during the 19th century, there was a progress in modern implant development, particularly in the repair of long bones and joints. These early implants marked the beginning of more advanced biomaterials. So, yun. Then, after that, ay na-introduce na yung polymers during 1930s. Polymers opened up new possibilities for creating biocompatible materials that could be used in various medical applications. And then during the 1944, na-discover yung dialysis for the treatment of kidney disease, na nagmark siya ng significant milestone din sa paggamit ng biomaterials sa mga medical purposes. And then, last one is during the 1950, so nagkaroon ng breakthrough sa biomaterials with the development of open heart surgery. So, nag-allow siya para magkaroon ng mga implantation of heart valves na nagkaroon ng great advancement sa cardiac medicine and the use of biomaterials in heart surgeries. So, in short, itong historical development ay nagda-demonstrate siya ng gradual progression in the use of biomaterials from early surgical techniques to more advanced materials and procedures that have transformed modern medicine and the field of biomaterial science. The development of biocompatible materials and techniques has been instrumental sa pagre-restore at sa pag-improve ng quality of life for countless patients. And that's it for the historical development. Now, let us talk about the classification of biomaterials. So, we have already discussed din itong mga metals, polymers, ceramics, and composites. So, we will just show some examples ng metallic biomaterials, polymeric, ceramic, and composite. So, as you can see in the slide, ayan yung mga example ng metallic biomaterials. So, ayan ay widely used for load-bearing implants. So, yung unang picture, ano siya, artificial joint for hip. Yung pangalawa ay for knee and yung pangatlo ay for shoulder. So, yung metal na ginagamit dito ay most commonly ay stainless steel, titanium, at saka cobalt-based alloy. Next, we have polymeric biomaterials. Itong mga polymers na to it resembles soft tissues and their application range from facial prosthetics to tracheal tubes, bladder, lens, tendons, and etc. So as you can see, meron mga artificial nose, eyes, hands, ears, ayan. Pwede rin siyang, itong polymeric, pwede rin siyang magamit sa mga sutures or catheters. So yung sutures, yun yung sa pagtatahi ng mga wounds. Tapos ang catheter naman, ano siya, flexible tube na ini-insert sa narrow opening ng body cavity, particularly sa bladder for removing fluid. Next, we have here ceramic biomaterials. Ayan. Ang ceramics, ginagamit naman siya mostly sa restorative materials sa dentistry. This includes materials for baby dental crowns and sa mga dentures for adult. Ayan. So yung baby dental crowns, siya yung nagko-cover sa natural tooth ng mga baby na nag-eliminates ng possibility na yung bacteria will get in and damage the tooth. And ayan. So as you can see, ginagamit din siya sa pag ng mga yung pustiso. Okay. And then lastly, we have composite biomaterials. So sinasabi na ang most successful composite materials are used in the field of dentistry as restorative material or dental cement. Ang kalimitang material na ginagamit dito ay carbon. Ayan. So, example nito ay yung mga reinforced polymer composites na ginagamit for bone repair, joint replacement, dahil meron silang low elasticity modulus level. Okay. So, that's it for the classifications of biomaterials. Now, let us proceed to the types of biomaterials that we will be discussed by the next reporter, Reds Balderrama.
So hello po. Meron po tayong 3 types of biomaterials, which is natural, synthetic, and composite. Next po. So meron po sa first po natin, meron po tayong natural biomaterials. Ang natural biomaterials po ay kumbaga po ay makikita natin sa plants, humans, and animals po. Any living things po. So, first of all, collagen, an essential structural protein found in human and other animal connective tissues. It is extremely used in biological applications, including drug delivery systems, tissue engineering, and wound healing. Next po ay chitin, a polymer that occurs naturally and is present in the cell walls of a certain fungi and the exoskeletons of the insects and crustaceans. It's utilized in the creation of biodegradable polymers and in biomedical applications like wood dressings. So next po ay silk, a protein fiber that spiders and silkworms produce because of its biocompatibility and biodegradability. It has been employed in a variety of biomedical applications including tissue engineering and wound healing. Next po. So, next po ay fibrin. A fibrous protein involved in blood clotting. It is used as a sealant in surgical procedures such as tissue engineering and regenerative medicine due to its ability to promote cell adhesion and proliferation. Ang fibrin po ay makikita natin sa mga blood plasma. And next po ay cellulose, a polysaccharide present in a plant cell walls. Since it is biocompatible, biodegradable, and mechanically strong, it finds utility in a wide range of biomedical applications, including tissue engineering, drug delivery systems, and wound healing. And next po yung keratin. Yung alam po natin keratin sa mga conditioners. And ang keratin po ay makikita sa epidermis, nails, and hair Because of its biocompatibility and biodegradability, it finds usage in biomedical applications such as tissue engineering and wound healing. Next po. Ang next type naman po ng biomaterials is synthetic biomaterials. Meron po tayong three classifications of biomaterials. Ang una po muna ay polymeric biomaterials. Meron po three types of polymeric biomaterials. Ang una po ay polyethylene glycol. Because of its biocompatibility and adaptability, is used in a wide range of medical applications including tissue engineering and drug delivery systems. Ang polyethylene glycol po ay ginagamit for management and treatment of constipation. Next po. Ang next naman po ay polylactic cyclic acid or PLGA, a biodegradable polymer that is frequently utilized in scaffolds for tissue engineering and drug delivery systems. Medyo same po sila ng ginagawa ni polyethylene glycol po. And next po is polyurethane. Because of its mechanical qualities and biocompatibility, polyurethane is used in variety of biomedical applications such as scaffolds for tissue engineering, catheters, and prosthetic heart valves. So, as you can see po in the picture, makikita niyo po na ito po, ang polyurethane po ay gamit po sa mga catheters, pati po yung mga swero po. Yung parang dalaw yan po ng swero. Next. Next type naman po ng synthetic biomaterials is ceramic biomaterials. Because of these materials, mechanical qualities and biocompatibility, they are utilized in orthopedic and dental applications. An example po ng ceramic biomaterials ay hydrosapatite, is a calcium phosphate ceramic that is employed in orthopedic implant coatings and bone grafts. And bioglass po is a form of bioactive glass that is utilized in tissue engineering and bone regeneration. Ang ceramic biomaterials po ay parang ginagamit po sa mga ngipin po. Parang ganun. Next po. Ang last type po ng synthetic biomaterial is metallic biomaterials. These materials' mechanical strength and biocompatibility make them useful in a variety of biological applications, as orthopedic and dental implants. A few examples are stainless steel. Stainless steel. Because of its mechanical strength and resistance to corrosion, it is used in fracture fixation devices and orthopedic implants. And next po ay titanium. And its alloys are frequently utilized in orthopedic and dental implants because of its biocompatibility, resistance to corrosion, and mechanical qualities. So ito pong metallic biomaterials in medical field po. Ginagamit po siya kunyari po na injury po tayo. Like po sa tuhod po, pero pwede po siya pamalit sa mga buto po na nasira. Kasi po ang metal and titanium po ay parang pwede pong pamalit sa buto. Okay po. Next po. Ang last type po ng biomaterials is composite biomaterials. And meron po tayong type ng composite biomaterials. Ang una po ay polyceramic composites. These composites combine the mechanical strength and bioactivity of ceramics with the flexibility of polymers. They are employed in a variety of biomedical applications where a blend of biocompatibility and mechanical strength is necessary, such as dental implants and bone substitutes. Next po. And last po hindi po last. Ang next po ay polymer metal composites. These composites combine the mechanical strength and other qualities of metals with the biocompatibility and flexibility of polymers. They are utilized in applications where it's crucial to strike a balance between strength and body compatibility, like orthopedic implants and cardiovascular gadgets. Next po. And last po ay carbon fiber polymer composites. These composites combine the flexibility and lightweight properties. This composite combines the flexibility and lightweight properties of polymers with the high strength and stiffness of carbon fibers. They are utilized in a variety of orthopedic applications where robust but lightweight material is required, such as implant and bone substitutes. Ito pong carbon fiber polymer composites, most likely po nakikita po siya sa mga kotse po para po maging lightweight lang po. So, ito na po lahat yung types of biomaterials. So, next reporter na po.
Next naman po ay properties of biomaterials. Mahalaga po na alam natin yung properties ng mga biomaterials kasi sila po yung nagsusupport ng function, repair, or growth po ng ating tissues sa ating organs. And first property po, mechanical properties. A biomaterial must be strong, durable, and provide the correct type of movement, flexibility, elasticity, and structural support for the body. Sa gilid naman po, makita natin yung picture, which is mechanical properties po ng zirconia. And kaya po zirconia, isang biomaterial po na mostly ginagamit po sa dentistry kasi po high strength po yung zirconia when it comes to when it's used to fabrication of crowns, veneers, ganun po. And makikita po natin yung mechanical properties nito na density, hardness, bend strength, compressive strength, and fracture toughness. Next po. Next properties naman po ay biocompatibility and bioactivity. Biomaterials should not contain toxic or carcinogenic components or they would be harmful, causing illness or cancer. Sa gilid naman po, makita natin yung dalawang example ng biomaterials, which is stainless steel and titanium and its alloy. Makita natin doon na mas relatively good biocompatibility yung stainless steel. Mas relatively good biocompatibility yung stainless steel. Tapos yung titanium and its alloy naman ay excellent biocompatibility. Next po. Some biomaterials are regenerative and have been used for tissue engineering such as grafts, sutures, or hydrogels. Regenerative biomaterials are bioactive and specifically designed to engage with biological tissues to facilitate growth, regeneration, and repair of tissues. Makita po natin sa picture yung bioactive scaffolds, yung nasa taas po. Yun po yung nagbibigay po ng isang type po ng biomaterial na suitable candidate po for treating soft tissue damage including sa lung tissue, ligament tendon to bone tissue, epithelial tissue, cardiac tissue, and nervous tissue po. Next. Next properties naman po ay degradation and biodegradability. Products which are formed from biomaterial degradation should not have any toxicity and must be readily recovered by the body. The biomaterial must be durable and chemically stable. It is very difficult to degrade biomaterial in particular from corrosion and wear. Sa picture naman po sa baba, makita po natin yung example ng degradation profile of magnesium alloy. So, therefore, biomaterial should not be mixed po into the body with synthetic substances or metal ions that are capable of causing toxic, inflammatory, carcinogenic, and allergic reactions. Next po. In biodegradation naman po, it refers to the degradation of biomaterial backbone by a biological agent, for example, enzyme or microbe, or chemical cleavage, hydrolysis. Chemical cleavage must be referred to as degradation. Sa picture naman po nakikita natin yung cycle po ng intermediate weight measurement experiment. Next po. Sa last property naman po ng biomaterial, surface properties and modification. Ito po yung pinaka-importante na properties ng biomaterial. The reason for this is that when implanting a device into tissue, the surface chemistry of materials will be determined how they interact with surrounding fluids. Inside the system, the surface of the metal implants corrodes using metal implant corrodes, releasing metallic ions to the solution. Therefore, the desirable biocompatibility of implant materials must be ensured by appropriate surface properties. Sa picture, makita po natin yung red. Yun po yung proteins, and it absorb differently to the different materials and are depicted as elongated on metal and globular on polymer. Tapos yung blue naman po, yung mga cells, it interacts sa mga materials po via the absorbed proteins. Yun lang po, lahat ng properties ng biomaterial. Next reporter.
Next naman po ay biomaterial processing. Biomaterial processing is a crucial stage that involves mechanical and chemical treatment of the source material to be developed into a biocompatible and bioactive product for a specific clinical application. So yun nga po, ang biomaterial processing po, ito po yung pagpaprocess po ng mga biomaterials sa kanilang mga products kung saan po gagamitin. Yan po. Next slide po. Types of biomaterial processing. Ang una po nating types is freeze drying, also known as lyophilization or freeze drying of bacterial cultures. Stabilizes the cultures for long-term storage while minimizing the damage that may be caused by strictly drying the sample. So, ang freeze drying po ay kilala rin sa bilang lyophilization, ay isang proseso po ng pag-alis ng tubig mula sa biomaterial, tulad po ng pagkain, gamot, or biological samples. Nangyayari po ito sa pamamagitan ng sublimation o pag-convert ng yelo direkta sa gas. Ito po ay sinasagawa upang mapanatili po ang kalidad ng biomaterial sa pamamagitan ng pag-alis po ng tubig na hindi po nadadamage yung structure ng material. Ang common example po nito ay sa umbilical cord po ng mga baby po, pagkatapos po ipanganak. Yun po, may option po sa ibang bansa na ipa-freeze dry para po pag nagkasakit po yung baby sa future, meron po silang mapagkukunan ng stem sample po ng baby. Ang next naman po nating type ay electrospinning. Electrospinning is a spinning technique that uses electrostatic forces to produce fibrous scaffolds from biocompatible polymers. So, kung hindi po natin alam kung ano po ang scaffold po ay isang structure or material na ginagamit para po magbigay ng suporta or framework para sa paglago at pagpaparami po ng mga cell at tissue sa tissue engineering and regenerative medicine. Nagpo-promote po ang scaffold ng tamang environment para po sa cellular attachment, proliferation, and tissue regeneration. Yun nga po, ang scaffold po ay pwedeng gawa po sa natural or synthetic polymers. So, back to electrospinning po. Ang electrospinning po ay isang advanced processing of biomaterials. Ito po ay ginagamit upang makalikha ng ultra-thin fibers or nanofibers mula sa mga biocompatible polymers. And ito po ay mahalagang technique sa larangan po ng biomedicine, tissue engineering, drug delivery, at iba pong aplikasyon ng biomaterials. Ang next type naman po natin ay 3D printing. Common naman po tayo sa 3D printing kasi po napaka-common na po niya ngayong digital age po ngayong pong age natin. Alam na po natin yun. Sa biomaterials po, Ito po ay isang technology na kung saan po nakagawa ito ng isang three-dimensional na bagay. Yun po ay sa pamamagitan ng pag-add ng material layer by layer hanggang sa makabuo po ng 3D object. And sa biomaterials po, ang 3D printing po ay ginagamit para magawa po ng mga tissue scaffolds and custom implants. Yun po, mga sa orthopedic po, yung mga buto, yung mga tawag po dun, duktong po, yung pag naputol ang paa, yung pong ginagawang pangduktong. Yun po. Next slide po. Ang next type naman po natin ay multiphoton lithography. Ang multiphoton lithography is a 3D printing process that uses multiphoton absorption for selective solidification of a photosensitive resin and 3D printing of objects with fine scale features. Ang multiphoton naman po ay isang advanced po na 3D printing na ginagamit po ito sa pagbuo ng mga biomaterial-based na struktura na may mas mataas po na resolution at precision kumpara po sa 3D printing, sa normal na 3D printing. Yun lang po. And sunod po natin ay particulate leaching. Particulate leaching or solvent casting is the polymer is dissolved in a solvent and poured into a mold containing a porogen. Upon solvent evaporation, the polymer matrix with the porogen remains. The porogen is eliminated by immersing in aqueous media, thus producing a porous structure. Kung nagtataka po kayo kung ano po ang porous structure, ito po ay parang cell wall na tumutulong din po sa pag-transfer ng mga liquid or iba pang materials para po makabuo ng cell or tissue. So, ang particulate leaching po ay isang process sa paggawa ng biomaterials para po makagawa ng porous network sa loob ng isang biomaterial. Ito ba ay ginagawa sa pamamagitan ng pagtanggal or pag-leach ng mga particles mula sa loob ng biomaterial matrix. Ang mga example po nito ay gaya po ng pag-create po ng scaffold niya po and cartilage regeneration po. Next naman po ay solvent casting. Ang solvent cast techniques enables to process synthetic and natural biomaterials into scaffolds that find immense application in tissue engineering. Yun po, ang solvent casting nga po ay nagpa-process po ng biomaterials na kung saan po ay ang isang biomaterial matrix ay ginagamitan po ng solvent upang maging malambot or maging liquid. Then pagkatapos po nun, ihiwalay na po ang solvent para po maging matigas or maging solid na po uli yung biomaterial matrix natin. Yan. Yun nga po, ito ay isang kilalang pamamaraan sa pagbuo na po ng mga film, membrane, or iba pang mga biomaterial structures. Next slide po. Ang next naman po natin ay supramolecular self-assembly. Self-assembly is the spontaneous association of an ensemble of molecules into one or more supramolecular structures driven by multiple non-covalent interactions. So, ang supramolecular self-assembly po ay isang proseso po naman ng pagbuo ng mga biomaterials kung saan po ang mga molecule or bahagi ng biomaterial ay nag-organize po sa kanilang sarili sa gamit po ng mga supramolecular interactions po na kagaya po ng hydrogen bonding, electrostatic interactions, pi-pi stacking, at marami po ito. Ang mga example po nito ay sa DNA nanotechnology, protein assemblies, mga artificial enzymes, and syempre po scaffolds. Ang next naman po and last is melt molding. Melt molding. For this fabrication technique, the polymers are heated above the melting point so they can assume a liquid form. The resulting polymer is then allowed to cool and solidify in the form of the mold. Yun nga po, kagaya po ng solvent casting kanina, ginagawa pong liquid form ang biomaterial. Dito naman po ay pagpapainit naman po at hanggang sa maging liquid form po. Then pagkatapos din po, i-inject po ito sa isang mold din po. And yun po, so same process lang po as solvent casting. Ang pinagkaiba lang po nila ay minemelt po dito yung biomaterial. And mga medical examples po nito ay medical devices and dental implants po, mga orthopedic prosthetics, and marami pa po. Next slide po. So, yun nga po. Ba't nga po natin kailangan alamin ang tamang proseso sa sa pag-process ng mga biomaterials. Meron po tayong sumusunod yun po ay ang biocompatibility, performance, safety, and regulatory compliance, and cost efficiency. Unang-una po ay ang pagiging biocompatibility po. Dahil po syempre po meron po ang itulot pong masama ito sa katawan kung bigla na lang po i-implant sa loob ng katawan. Dahil may iba't iba pong may iba't iba pong dalang iba't iba po itong epekto sa katawan dahil po may iba't ibang mga masasamang mga harmful mga na nakaka-harm po sa katawan, may mga iba't iba pong chemicals. Kaya po kailangan po nating alamin yung tamang proseso po para maging biocompatible po ito sa ating katawan. Then next po ay ang performance naman po nito. Kailangan po natin malaman ang tamang proseso din po sa paggamit ng biomaterial upang lalo po natin mas mapaganda at mas mapaganda ang effectivity po ng isang biostructure. Then, ang next naman po ay sa safety po. Yun nga po, gaya po ng sabi ko kanina, kaya po mahalagang malaman ang tamang proseso ay para po ligtas po itong magamit ng mga gagamit, ang mga pasyente po. Then next naman po ay regulatory compliance. Yun po, syempre po sa medical field po ay madami pong regulations sa mga gamot or medical devices. And kung alam po natin ang tamang proseso na gagamitin sa bawat biomaterials ay yun po, matutulungan po tayo nito na makasunod sa mga regulations ng bawat company. And lastly po, ay ang cost efficiency. Siyempre po, may kamahalan po nga po ang paggagawa po ng mga products gamit ang biomaterials. And kung alam po natin kung ano ang tamang processing techniques, ay matutulungan po tayo maging cost effective and matutulungan po tayo sa pag-produce ng iba't ibang products using biomaterials. And yun lang po para po sa biomaterials processing. Nandito po si Saidil po para po i-discuss ang applications of biomaterials.
So, the applications of biomaterials. So, biomaterials play an essential role in the healthcare and medical sector, serving a crucial function in a broad range of medical applications and device. So, sinasabi po na ang biomaterials would serve as a bridge between the human body and medical devices. They play a fundamental role when it comes po sa different medical applications and para na din po sa development ng mga medical devices. So these adaptable substances are vital in the creation nga of various medical devices including artificial organs, prosthetics, drug delivery system, tissue engineering structures, and diagnostic tools and biosensors. So, biomaterials are tinatawag po na versatile since madami siyang medical applications. Pwede siyang i-apply for creating artificial organs katulad po ng artificial hearts or kidneys, prosthetics for artificial limbs or body parts, drug delivery systems para po sa controlled and targeted drug release, tissue engineering structures for growing replacement tissues, and diagnostic tools and biosensors for detecting and measuring biological markers or diseases. Sa paggamit nga po ng biomaterials, maingat po yung nagiging pagpili ng mga properties para masigurado na compatible siya with the human body and para po mag-function po siya properly. Next slide po. So, proceed po tayo sa one of the applications of biomaterials which is in medical devices. So, for medical devices, the first one is implants. Medical implants are devices made from synthetic materials that are placed inside the human body for medical purposes, usually for long periods of time. Since sinasabi nga po na medical implants are artificial devices, so they are intended to be placed inside the human body, kinakailangan po niya na ma-serve yung ano po ba yung pinaka-main purpose niya for long periods of time. So, they are made up of human tissues or exogenous materials such as metals, plastics, and ceramics. So, yung composition ng mga medical implants, pwede siyang made up of metals, plastics, ceramics, or other synthetic materials. So, may nabanggit na word po na exogenous. Pag sinabi po exogenous, nagre-refer po siya dun sa mga substances na originated from outside the body. Yung material na gagamitin in building a specific implant ay magdedepende po kung ano po yung magiging purpose niya and kung compatible po ba siya doon sa patient's body. Implants are devices designed to be inserted or integrated into the body to either replace damaged or dysfunctional tissues or enhance their functions. Pwede siyang gamitin as a replacement sa mga damaged or dysfunctional tissues or body parts, or pwede din siyang mag-enhance ng pinaka-function ng mga existing healthy tissues or body parts. Next slide po. So, here are the different types of implants, some of the different types of implants, and their, explain ko po kung ano po ba yung specific purposes siya. Yeah, so first is orthopedic implants. As kita niyo naman po sa picture, more on connected po siya when it comes to repair or replacement po ng damaged bones or joints. Examples po nito yung mga medical screws, plates, and rods na ginagamit po for fixing fractures. Next is dental implants. Dental implants are used as replacement for missing teeth. So, kita naman po dun sa picture, may titanium post po na implanted dun po sa jawbone in which ginagamit po siya para po mag-support ng mga dental crowns, bridges, and dentures. Next slide po. The next type of implant po is cardiovascular implants. So as the name suggests po, connected po siya with the cardiovascular system. Ito po yung mga implants like artificial heart valves and pacemakers. Then, breast implants, ginagamit po siya for breast augmentation or reconstruction surgeries. So, composition po na is either they are made of silicone or filled with saline. Next slide po. So, next is cochlear implants. So, they are used naman po for restoration of hearing in those individuals po na nakakaranas ng hearing loss or deafness. So, may electrodes po na implanted po dun sa inner ear na nagsistimulate po ng pinaka-auditory nerve. And then, we have neurological implants. So, they are used to treat various neurological conditions. Ginagamitan po na mga deep brain stimulation devices for Parkinson's disease, and then spinal cord stimulators naman po for chronic pain management. Next po. So the next is ocular implants. So they are used in the field of ophthalmology. So ginagamit po siya to correct vision or treat eye condition. So examples po nito are intraocular lenses, for cataract surgery, and corneal implants naman for refractive vision correction. And last, for the some of the different types of implants, we have gastrointestinal implants. They are designed naman for the digestive system, which includes yung mga gastric bands or balloons na ginagamit for weight loss surgery, and mga intestinal stents to treat obstructions. Next slide po. So another application of biomaterials in medical devices are prosthetics. So prosthetic devices are designed to replace or replicate missing or amputated body parts. So they serve po a purpose of as kino-compensate po nila yung mga body parts na hindi wala na po or no longer present or hindi na po functional. So these parts could include po yung mga limbs like upper and lower, yung mga fingers, hands, feet, and more. There are external devices that are usually attached to the body to restore lost functions such as mobility and dexterity. So, primary objective po ng mga devices na to is to restore yung mga lost functionality like yung ability to move or yung mobility and yung pagmamanipulate ng objects or yung dexterity. And prosthetic devices are typically made from lightweight materials such as plastic, metals, and composite materials. Yung mga materials na ito yung commonly used in the construction of prosthetic devices. So, yung plastics, metals, like aluminum or titanium, and composite materials are chosen due to their lightweight properties. They make the prosthetic more comfortable for the wearer and allow for easier mobility. Next po. So here are some po of the different types of prosthetics. We have first the upper and lower limb prosthetics. As you can see naman po, they are designed to replace missing upper limbs, arms, and lower limbs, which are the legs. Then next, we have cranial implants. So cranial implants are custom-made devices to replace yung mga parts of the skull or facial bones that have been damaged. Yung mga prosthetics na to is pwede ding lagyan ng mga synthetic hair or yung mga wig para improve nung pinaka-appearance ng prosthetic para magmukha siyang more natural dun sa patient. Next po. Next is cosmetic prosthetics. So, they are designed primarily for aesthetics and are often used to improve the appearance of a body part that has been missing. So, examples po are for the eyes, ears, or noses para magbigay po ng more natural appearance dun sa patient na para po mag-match dun sa remaining features po ng patient. Then, we have myoelectric prosthetics. So, they are advanced upper limb prosthetic devices that are controlled by electrical signals na generated ng patient's own muscle. So, may sensors yung mga devices na to detect yung muscle contractions ng residual limb para ma-control ng user yung various movements ng prosthetic hand. Next po. So, we have bionic prosthetics. So, ang bionic prosthetics and myoelectric prosthetics po, more on the advanced na po siya since nag-i-integrate po or nag-incorporate po sila ng advanced technology to provide a wide range of functions. So, ang bionic po, ang pinagkaiba lang po ng bionic and bioelectric, ang bionic po kasi, nandun na po yung, pwede na po siyang mag-provide ng sensory feedback. So, yung pinaka-patient po is pwede na po, yung pinaka-user po is pwede na po maka-feel ng pressure and touch. Then, last for the types of prosthetics, we have exoskeletal prostheses. So, they're external devices that are worn over a limb or a part of a body. So, since sinabi nga prosthetics, they are not surgically implanted na, which is pwede din naman pong gawin na iba pong prosthetic types. As sa picture, pwede din po siyang gamitin as a shell para po magbigay ng more natural look po dun po sa pinaka-prosthetic. Next po. So, another application of biomaterials is in tissue engineering and regenerative medicine. Tissue engineering is a multidisciplinary field that focuses on creating functional biological tissues and organs in the laboratory for transplantation or in-site repair. So, tissues engineers strive to mimic the structure and function of natural tissues and organs. And regenerative medicine seeks to repair or replace damaged tissues and organs. So, yung primary objective po ng tissue engineering is to produce functional biological tissues using different laboratory techniques. So, yung engineered tissues is pwede pong gamitin for two purposes like transplantation or insight. Transplantation since pwede pong create yung tissue outside the body and then pwede po siyang gamitin as replacement for the damage or disease once in a patient. Pag insight naman po, nagde-develop naman po sila ng methods to repair the damaged tissues or organs within the patient's body by introducing engineered components. Ang regenerative medicine naman po is made to stimulate the body's own regenerative capabilities para po makapag-produce or introduce yung mga innovative treatments to repair or replace yung mga damaged tissues. So, ginagamit po, para pong ginagamit din ng regenerative medicine to eliminate po yung necessity for an organ po or tissue na for transplantation. So, which can limited po kasi yung organ availability and pwede din po siyang magkaroon ng pag-transplantation po kasi pwede pong i-reject ng body yung pinaka-organ. Next po. So here are some examples po ng applications po of biomaterials in tissue engineering and regenerative medicine.
Okay na rin namin.
Bakit kayo dito?
Wala na exit.
So here are the applications of biomaterials in tissue engineering and regenerative medicine. First po is in scaffold material. So they offer a three-dimensional environment for cells to adhere to, proliferate, and differentiate, promoting tissue generation. So pag scaffold materials po, para po siyang nagiging environment po ng cells. So yung mga cells na po to, dito po siya didikit sa mga scaffolds to promote tissue regeneration and nagsaserve po siya as framework for the cells to grow and develop. Next po is bioprinting. This technology allows for precise placement of cells and biomaterials to build functional tissues, organs, layer by layer. So, useful po yung technology po na to in creating complex or customized structures for tissues engineering. Next is nerve regeneration. Biomaterials are employed to create conduits for nerve regeneration. These conduits guide and support regenerating nerve fibers, helping to restore nerve function in cases of injury or disease. So, yung mga conduits po na ito, nagsaserve po siya as parang pathway or tubes designed to guide and support regenerating nerve fibers. So, yung biomaterials po that are used in the field of regeneration to create yung mga conduits nga po. Then next and last for the application of biomaterials in tissue and regenerative medicine is the cartilage and bone regeneration. So scaffolds and implants can help repair damaged joints and fractures, promote functional recovery. So pwede po siyang mag-aid in the repair of yung mga damaged joints or yung sa mga fractures po by creating yung mga cartilage and bone in the affected areas. Next po. So, sa drug delivery system po, is another application of biomaterials. So, formulation or a device that enables the introduction of a therapeutic substance into the body that improves its efficacy and safety by controlling the rate, time, and place of release drugs into the body. So these systems po offer a way to enhance the therapeutic efficacy of drugs, to minimize po yung mga side effects niya, to provide yung sustained targeted or controlled drug delivery. Kaya po nasabi na sustained, targeted, and controlled yung drug delivery. Una po is yung sustained delivery. Kaya po nasabing sustained means po na yung drug is released over an extended period. Targeted po means that the drug is directed po to a specific site or organ. And controlled po, since it is the ability po to regulate po yung drug release as needed. Next po. So, parang nasabi ko nga po kanina, ito po yung advantages ng drug delivery. For the controlled drug release, targeted delivery, sustained release, localized delivery, which is connected na din po with targeted since they are both pertaining po to specific sites, organs, or locations within the body, biocompatibility po, and it is also customizable to fit with the patient's treatment plans, which would increase po the effectiveness of therapy. Next po. So here's the final application po of biomaterials, which is in diagnostic tools and biosensors. So diagnostic tools refer to a broad range of instruments, devices, and techniques na ginagamit to identify, quantify, or monitor specific biomolecules, pathogens, or physiological parameters within a biological sample. Diagnostic medical equipment and supplies help clinicians to measure and observe various aspects of a patient's health so that they can form a diagnosis. So, yung mga diagnostic tools are, yun po yung mga instruments, devices, or techniques na ginagamit po to monitor specific substances. Yung mga biomolecules, pathogens like bacteria or viruses, yung mga physiological parameters, yun po yung mga blood sugar levels or cholesterol, gamit po yung pinaka-biological materials like blood, urine, or tissue. So, yung mga tools po na to is critical and provides critical data para po sa mga doctors to analyze and interpret para po makapag-provide po sila ng diagnosis to the patient. Biosensors are specialized devices that incorporate biomaterials to detect and quantify specific biological molecules or reactions. Biosensors are analytical devices that convert biological response into an electrical signal. So, mga biosensors, they incorporate biomaterials which are derived from living organisms to mimic biological systems. Sinasabi din na na-convert nila yung biological response into a electrical signal. Yung electrical signal po na ito ang magagamit to easily measure and analyze, making yung mga biosensors invaluable tools in the various fields, including sa medical diagnostics, environmental monitoring, and biotechnology research. Next po. So, what are the different types of diagnostic tools? Una po are the imaging techniques or diagnostic radiology. This type of tools po are used to create visual representations of the internal structure ng body. So, dito po na-diagnose yung mga conditions like yung mga fractures, tumors, or other abnormalities. Yung mga common imaging techniques would be yung mga X-ray, MRI scan, CT scan, or ultrasound. Next po. So, laboratory tests. So, they are involved naman po sa analysis ng mga bodily fluids like yung blood, urine, or cerebrospinal fluid, or tissue samples in a controlled environment, mostly sa mga medical laboratory. So, dito na-detect yung mga various diseases, infections, and abnormalities. Like examples ng tests would be blood tests, urine analysis, and genetic testing. Next is the endoscopy. So, medical procedure po siya na nag-involve ng inserting a flexible thin tube with the camera or yung may light source, or tinatawag na endoscope, into the body para po ma-visualize yung mga inside ng organs or cavity. So, ginagamit po siya to examine gastrointestinal tract, respiratory system, and other areas for abnormalities or diseases. Next po. So, may sunod po na different types of tools is electrocardiogram, ECG, or EKG. So, test po siya that records yung electrical activity ng heart over a specific period. Nakakatulong po siya in diagnosing heart conditions such as arrhythmias, heart attacks, or other cardiac abnormalities. Next is neuroimaging. So, ang neuroimaging po are specialized diagnostic tools used to study the structure and function ng brain and the nervous system. Yung mga methods po na ginagamit for neuroimaging are MRI, CT scan, PET scans, functional MRI or fMRI, na nagda-diagnose ng mga disorders or brain injuries. Next po. So, we have biopsy. So, pag biopsy naman po is the removal of small tissue sample from the body for examination under a microscope. Then, yung point of care testing naman po is the medical diagnostic test conducted at or near a patient's location rather than being done in a centralized laboratory. So, yung mga testing po na to, mas napoprovide po ng rapid results, often within minutes lang po, and commonly used sa mga emergency and primary care setting. Next po. And then, for the different types of biosensors, we have enzyme-based biosensors. So, from the name, nagamit po siya ng enzymes to produce a measurable signal to target na molecule. And then, we have antibody-based biosensors. Nag-employ naman po ng antibodies to detect specific antigens na ginagamit for pregnancy tests and infectious disease detection. Visual electric biosensors, gumagamit ng piezoelectric crystals na generate ng electrical signal when subjected to mechanical stress. So, ginagamit po siya for detection of small molecules and biomolecules. Next is optical biosensors na nagre-rely sa changes in light properties to detect the presence of a target molecule. They offer high sensitivity and real-time monitoring capabilities. Then, we have DNA-based biosensors na nagde-detect ng specific DNA sequences or genetic mutations na mostly ginagamit sa genotyping, pathogen identification, and genetic research. And lastly, we have electrochemical biosensors na gumagamit ng electrodes to measure changes between electrical currents na suitable for glucose monitoring and environmental analysis. So, for the next presenter po.
Material selection for biomaterials. Here are some ways in which the choice of biomaterials can impact the design of mechanical components and systems, such as implants and prosthetics. So, ang una po is biocompatibility. So, ang biomaterials po ay dapat po ay biocompatible, meaning they should not cause an adverse reaction or harm to the body. This is especially important po for implants and prosthetics that are intended to remain in the body for long periods of time. Next po is mechanical properties. So the mechanical properties of the biomaterials used can affect the performance of the implant or prosthetics. For example, the strength, stiffness, and toughness of the material can affect the durability and reliability of the device. Sunod po is surface properties. The surface properties of the biomaterials used can affect the interaction between the device and the surrounding tissue. For example po is yung roughness, wettability, and charge of the surface can affect the adhesion of cells and protein to the device. Next po is degradation rate. So, ang degradation rate naman po ay nakakaapekto sa longevity of the implant or prosthetics. For example po, if the materials degrades too quickly, the device may need to be replaced sooner than expected. Lastly po is manufacturing process. The manufacturing process should The manufacturing process used to create the implants or prosthetics can affect the properties of the biomaterials used. For example, the processing temperature, pressure, and time can affect the crystallinity, porosity, and microstructure of the material. Next slide po. So here are some ways in which material properties, including mechanical properties, play crucial roles in the selection of biomaterials for various applications. So ang una po ulit is biocompatibility. So the biomaterial should not elicit an adverse response from the host tissues. This is determined by the chemical composition, surface properties, and degradation rate of material. Mechanical strength. The mechanical properties of the biomaterial should match the mechanical properties of the surrounding tissues. For example, bone implants should have a similar elastic modulus to that of natural bone. Degradation rate. So, ang degradation rate ng biomaterials ay dapat natugma sa rate ng tissues regeneration. Kung masyadong mabagal ang degradation rate, maaaring magdulot ito ng chronic inflammation. Samantalang kung masyadong mabilis naman, maaaring magdulot ito ng premature failure ng implant. Next po is surface properties. So, ang mga surface properties ng biomaterials ay dapat na binabagay upang mag-promote ng cell adhesion and proliferation. Ito ay maaaring makamit sa pamamagitan ng pagbabago sa surface chemistry, roughness, at topography ng materials. Biodegradability. Ang biomaterial ay dapat na biodegradable kung ito ay gagamitin para sa temporary applications tulad ng drug delivery o tissue engineering. Sterilization. Ang biomaterial ay dapat na sterilizable gamit ang mga pamamaraan tulad ng gamma radiation, ethylene oxide, o autoclaving. Lastly po is cost. Ang presyo ng biomaterial ay dapat na reasonable at affordable para sa intended na application. Next presenter po.
So next, challenges and recent advances in biomaterials. So biomaterials are the unsung heroes of modern healthcare and scientific research. So these materials play a pivotal role in enhancing the quality of life, extending lifespans, and enabling cutting-edge medical innovations. So in this presentation, we'll delve into the significance of biomaterials, their challenges, and the remarkable recent advancements that are reshaping the future of healthcare and research. Next slide po. So what are our objectives for this topic? So we aim to explore current challenges in biomaterials design and application, showcase recent breakthroughs and their impact on healthcare, encourage a broader understanding of the field's significance, explain how mechanical engineers work to overcome these challenges. Next slide. Since we're already familiarized on some of the applications of biomaterials by our previous reporters, now we address challenges in biomaterials. So first one is biocompatibility issues. So again, biocompatibility, it refers to the ability of a material to interact harmoniously with biological systems without causing harm or adverse reactions. So it is a fundamental consideration when designing and using biomaterials in medical applications. When biocompatibility is not adequately addressed, biomaterials can trigger rejection and complications in the patient's body. So here's why. First one is immune response. Biomaterials that are not biocompatible may provoke an immune response. So the body's immune system can recognize the material as foreign and attempt to eliminate it. This immune response can manifest as inflammation, swelling, and discomfort. So when the immune system responds to a non-biocompatible material, it often initiates inflammation as part of its defense mechanism. So inflammation is the body's way of trying to eliminate the perceived threat. Next one is rejection. In severe cases, the body may outright reject the biomaterial. This rejection can lead to the failure of medical implants or devices, making them ineffective or even dangerous. So rejection can manifest in different ways, depending on specific type of biomaterial and the application. So sa mga case na nabasa ko, like from medical implants, like sa organ transplants or synthetic grafts, rejection may involve the body's immune system attacking and attempting to remove the implanted material. Next one. Next slide. Chronic inflammation. So even if outright rejection does not occur, chronic inflammation may persist at the implant site. So prolonged inflammation can lead to tissue damage, scarring, and ultimately the failure of the biomaterial. Complications. Biocompatibility issues can result in various complications such as infections, allergic reactions, or implant loosening. These complications not only harm the patient but can also necessitate additional medical interventions and cost. Long-term health impacts. The long-term presence of non-biocompatible materials can have a lasting impact on a patient's health and well-being, potentially leading to chronic conditions or even necessitating the removal of implants. Yun na nga, simple lang, kapag di compatible yung biomaterial sa implant site or sa katawan natin, maaaring mamaga, mas lumala yung pamamaga, and some cases na nakikita ko is nabubulok yung paligid ng implant site, and yun ang iniiwasan natin. So, sa halip na mag-benefit tayo dun sa biomaterial, ay mas nakapagpalala pa ng suffering source sakit natin. So, next. Degradation rates. Achieving the proper degradation rate involves precise material selection and engineering. Biomaterial scientists and engineers carefully tailor materials to ensure they break down or persist at the desired rate, balancing the needs of the patient with the functional requirements of the device. So this meticulous control is essential to the success of biomaterial-based medical applications. So nakalagay nga dyan, degradation rates must match the intended lifespan. So when designing and using biomaterials, a critical consideration is ensuring that the degradation rates of these materials align with the intended lifespan of the medical device or implant. So this synchronization is vital for several reasons. First is device functionality. So biomaterials are often used in medical implants and device designed to serve specific functions for a defined period. The degradation rate must be controlled to ensure the device continues to function effectively throughout its intended lifespan. So, in the case of orthopedic implants, like sa hip or knee replacements, yung device, kailangan niyang ma-maintain yung structure ng hip or knee, structural integrity, over many years to support the patient's mobility. Kasi if premature degradation occurs, it can lead to the implant loosening, wear, and failure na makaka-apekto sa patient. Next is tissue compatibility. In the case of bioresorbable materials, which are designed to be gradually absorbed by the body, it's crucial that their degradation aligns with the healing or regeneration process of the surrounding tissues. So if degradation occurs too quickly, it can disrupt the tissue healing. If it's too slow, it can hinder the natural processes. So again, sa orthopedic application, such as fracture fixation devices or yung mga bone screws. The degradation rate should be adjusted to coincide with the time it takes for the bone to heal and regain its strength. So, a material that degrades too quickly could compromise the structural support provided to the healing bone. Next one. Next slide. Safety and biocompatibility. So, under din to ng ano eh. Nabanggit ko na kanina, yung sa biocompatibility. So, rapid or uncontrolled degradation can release byproducts or cause changes in the biomaterial structure, potentially leading to adverse reactions or complications. So, slower degradation can also create issues if non-resorbable biomaterials remain in the body longer than intended. Excuse me. Risk of device failure. So, if the degradation rate is not well matched with the device's intended lifespan, it can lead to premature failure. For example, in orthopedic implants, early degradation can result in loss of structural integrity, while in drug delivery systems, it can disrupt the controlled release of medications. Next one. Immunogenicity. So it refers to the ability of a substance, such as biomaterial, to stimulate an immune response in the body. This immune response can be a complex and critical aspect of biomaterial interactions, and understanding it is crucial for several reasons. So, foreign body recognition, inflammation, rejection. Napahapyawan ko na yan kanina. So, nabanggit ko na naman sa ilang mga slides na kapag na-detect nga ng katawan natin na yung biomaterial implant as foreign, immune system is activated to eliminate or neutralize it. So either mamaga nga yung implant site, or in some cases is outright rejection and chronic inflammations. Next slide. Hindi pala nakasama. Ibalik mo nga ano. Pakibalik po. Putol. Okay, dagdag ko na lang dito kasi putol. Delayed healing. So, immunogenicity can interfere with natural healing processes around a biomaterial. So, slower healing or the development of scar tissue can affect the overall effectiveness and safety of a medical implant. So, also, allergic reactions. In some instances, immunogenic responses can lead to allergic reactions, further complicating the patient's condition and necessitating additional medical intervention. So, yun nga, managing immunogenicity is a multifaceted challenge in biomaterial design and use. So, researchers and engineers aim to minimize the potential for immunogenic responses by selecting materials with low reactivity and optimizing the surface properties of biomaterials. So, biocompatibility testing and thorough preclinical evaluation are also essential to assess and mitigate the immunogenic risk associated with biomaterials. So, ensuring their safe and effective use in medical applications. So, itong mga sinabi ko, ilan lang sa mga sa mga ginagawa ng mga professionals para ma-resolve nga itong mga challenges in biomaterials na to. So, yung next slide, ito yung mga specific mechanical engineers actions sa challenges na nabanggit. So, mechanical engineers play a critical role in addressing the challenges in biomaterials through various approaches and techniques. So, here's how they contribute on solving the challenges mentioned earlier. So, biocompatibility issues. Dalawa, material selection tsaka surface modification. Mechanical engineers work with material scientists to select and design biomaterials that have the required mechanical properties while also being biocompatible. So this involves choosing materials that the body is less likely to reject or react negatively to. Engineers may use surface treatments or coatings to improve the biocompatibility of materials, reducing the risk of adverse reactions. Next one. Degradation rate control. Material design, structural integrity. So mechanical engineers can tailor the material's properties to control its degradation rate. For instance, they can adjust the polymer structure or composite materials to match the intended lifespan of the medical device or implant. Engineers ensure that the biomaterial maintains its structural integrity throughout its intended lifespan. So this is particularly important in orthopedic implants and devices that require long-term stability. So mechanical engineers and biomaterial scientists work together to balance the desired device longevity with the controlled degradation rate of the material used. So this involves careful material selection and engineering to ensure that the device remains effective without premature degradation. Immunogenicity management, so material composition. So mechanical engineers collaborate with immunologists and biomaterials experts to design materials that minimize immunogenic responses. So this may involve choosing materials with low reactivity and designing them to avoid triggering the immune system. Next slide. Conclusion. In essence, mechanical engineers work in disciplinary teams, collaborating with material scientists, biologists, and medical professionals to address biomaterial challenges and leverage recent advancements. So their expertise in materials, mechanics, and design is crucial to the development and successful implementation of biomaterials in healthcare and research. So next, advances in biomaterials. So 3D printing. So mga nabanggit na to kanina, 3D printing enables custom organ and tissue creation. So 3D printing, also known as additive manufacturing, has revolutionized the field of regenerative medicine. So it allows for the precise and customized fabrication of biological structures, including organs and tissues. So using a patient's medical imaging data, 3D printers can create biocompatible scaffolds that mimic the shape and structure of specific organ or tissue needed for transplantation. So by layering bio-ink or cell-laden hydrogels onto these scaffolds, it becomes possible to print functional tissues such as blood vessels, skin, or even small organs. So this advancement offers new hope for patients in need of organ transplants, reducing waiting list and risk of rejection. Next is smart biomaterials. So ito yung mga biomaterials na may sensors having the capability to adapt on the environment and do its work. So smart biomaterials have a remarkable ability to adapt to changing environmental conditions or biological cues. So applications of smart biomaterials include drug delivery systems that release medication at the right time and location, wound dressings that can respond to infection, and biosensors for detecting biomarkers in real time. So the development of these materials has greatly improved the precision and effectiveness of various medical treatments. Ang nga dyan ay nanotechnology. Next po. Nanotechnology enhances drug delivery and implant materials. So, nanotechnology involves working with materials and structures at the nanoscale, typically with dimension 100 nanometers. So, in the field of biomaterials, nanotechnology has brought about significant advances. So, the use of nanotechnology in biomaterials has opened the door to, to innovative treatments and biomaterials with enhanced properties. So, nanoparticles and nanoscale drug carriers can be designed to transport medications with unprecedented precision to targeted cells or tissues, reducing side effects and enhancing therapeutic outcomes. Nanoscale modifications to implants, such as dental implants or orthopedic devices, improve biocompatibility and minimize immune responses, thereby extending the lifespan. New materials like biodegradable stents and food. Napak mula traditional stents, sa biodegradable traditional procedures to open blocks, lesions, in the risk of long-term complications. At ngayon naman, biodegradable stents offer innovative solutions from materials that are down in the body, eliminating the need for permanent implantation and reducing the risk of late stent. So, these samples made from innovative biomaterials serve as templates for regenerating damaged for cell growth and tissue eventually as the new tissue takes over, avoiding long-term foreign reactions. For the landscape of and hearing, often improve, reducing the need for medication or device removal. So, yun lang po.
So that's all po for our discussion about biomaterials. Thank you po for listening.
Don't you have any video, Janela?
So, ilalagay natin yun.
Hello?
Wait lang po.
Okay, okay. Miss Janela, meron? Or wala? Okay lang naman.
Sabi ko, i-verify yung density para
Ipe-present ko lang po, ma'am. 11 minutes po.
tama.
Sige, okay.
Okay lang po.
Para
Okay,
hindi
okay.
kayo magkasala.
The efforts of engineers are all around you. Take a stroll down the street and you'll spot one feat of engineering after another. But what you can't see are all the feats of engineering people are carrying around inside their bodies. Because engineering isn't just about what's around us, it's also about what's inside us. From medical implants to artificial limbs and the bandages that cover your cuts, so many things have been designed from a special set of materials that work well with the human body. These biomaterials are vital to medicine, healthcare, and the world as we know it. It takes special effort to design things that work directly with the human body. Technically, you could try and use any material as a biomaterial, but to be successful, it needs to be compatible with the biological system is interacting with. All the materials we talked about for the job, that's where biocompatibility comes in. That's a general term for how compatible a material is with living tissue. It's not only an important feature of biomaterials, it's what makes something a biomaterial. There are four main ways a material can interact with your body. It can hurt you, it can dissolve and be replaced by cells, your body can surround it with a protective layer, or it can bond with your living tissue. Biocompatible materials are the ones that result in healthy bodily responses. They don't tend to cause blood clots or infections and lead to normal, uncomplicated healing, which can be really important because for most applications, your biomaterials will at least partly come in contact with bodily tissues or cells, and often for long periods of time, months, years, maybe decades. Over the years, the materials we consider biocompatible have changed a lot. From the animal tissue used by ancient Egyptians to stitch wounds, to the wood used in olden-day peg legs, to the carefully engineered materials we use today. Some of the more prominent ones today are titanium and stainless steel, used everywhere from joint replacements to dental implants. There's also polyurethane, a type of polymer used in catheters, artificial heart valves and other flexible devices, and hydrogels for things like contact lenses. Each type has different properties that make it useful as a biomaterial. We've already talked about one use for alloys like titanium and stainless steel. For example, braces. Titanium and some other alloys can be classified as biologically inert materials, which means they cause little or no reaction with nearby tissues. Your body may recognize them as foreign materials and try to surround them with fibrous tissue, but it doesn't outright reject them. In the US alone, over 4 million people wear braces, many of whom have the metal kind, and that's not counting all the people who have already spent a couple of years of their lives with alloys digging into their gums. You'll also find these alloys in plenty of other things that we put in people's bodies for an extended period of time. Titanium is often used in place of stainless steel because it lacks things like nickel that can sometimes cause allergic reactions. It also has a lower density compared to other metallic biomaterials, so a titanium implant will be lighter than a similar one made from stainless steel. And when it comes to artificial body parts, lighter usually translates to much more comfortable. Both titanium and stainless steel have excellent mechanical properties like strength, resistance to bending, and durability. That's why they're used for things that tend to get a lot of wear and tear, like teeth and joints. Titanium is also used to surround things that wouldn't be biocompatible otherwise. A pacemaker, for example. On their own, having a battery and electrical circuits inside you wouldn't be great. Surround them with a biocompatible material like titanium, though, and it becomes just not causing harm. For example, sometimes implanted devices that come into direct contact with blood, like pacemakers, cause dangerous blood clots or narrowing of blood vessels as the person's body tries to heal around them. But scientists have found that coating the titanium in a mixture of collagen proteins and a blood thinner called heparin could someday help prevent those complications. The research is still in the early stages, but the fibrous tissues that form around implants are often collagen-based, so coating the titanium in the same proteins might speed up healing. Meanwhile, the blood thinner might prevent clots. Other types of titanium coatings are already used for surgeries where you need to get an implant to bond with the surrounding bone. Some knee replacements, for example, are coated with things like protein and silver, which give the alloy the ability to bond with living tissue and discourage bacterial growth. With things like knee replacements, that can be really important because for the surgery to be successful, you typically need to get the implant to bond with the surrounding bone. So when it comes to biocompatibility, alloys like like titanium are super useful, and with some clever engineering, you can make them even better. Sometimes, though, you need a material that's a little more flexible, like for a heart valve, and for that, engineers often turn to polyurethane. Like other polymers, polyurethane is made up of long repeating chains arranged into larger molecules, but the smaller segments of the polymer alternate between hard and soft, which gives it a super useful set of properties. Polyurethane has a high level of elasticity, so it's pretty flexible, but it's also durable and resistant to tearing. Combine these properties, and you end up with a biomaterial that performs well under both static and dynamic loads. More importantly, though, those hard and soft segments make polyurethane biocompatible. In the 1980s, researchers discovered that the molecules in the softer segments help make the polymer more blood-friendly because the platelet cells that cause clots didn't stick to them as much. Since then, engineers have worked to make polyurethanes with even better biocompatibility by changing the chemical structure of the hard segments so they don't accumulate platelets as much either. But polyurethane isn't the only polymer that's widely used as a biomaterial. There are also hydrogels, materials made up of things called hydrophilic structures, cross-linked polymers capable of holding large amounts of water. Think of the polymers we talked about before with those long chemical chains, but now they're linked repeatedly between the chains, forming a network-like structure. That network can then swell with water to fill in the gaps between the chains, leading to some interesting properties. For example, one of the most widely used hydrogels is something called FEMA, a material that's pretty unreactive and supportive of biological processes. It's tough and doesn't degrade easily, isn't absorbed by the body, and it can take on many different shapes and forms, making it the sort of Swiss Army knife of biomaterials. These characteristics are what make FEMA to deliver medicine to the eye. In fact, the unique chemical structure of hydrogels in general could make them ideal for delivering drugs across the body. Say you swallow a hydrogel capsule filled with medication that you might normally take in a shot. When the pill enters your body, the water inside you will try to fill it up. The hydrogel will take in the fluid and swell up to maintain its equilibrium, effectively pushing out the drug into your body and releasing it where it needs to go. And if you use a hydrogel that your body can gradually absorb, it will just dissolve after it's done its job. The potential for future hydrogel applications is vast, including wound healing bioadhesives, artificial skin and cartilage, sexual organ reconstruction, and even vocal cord replacements. So far, we've mostly talked about building devices to put in the body, but biomaterials can be used to help boost the body's existing behaviors too. For example, some researchers are working on a gel that can stick to your bodily tissues and help heal them faster. This gel can help prevent internal blisters and infections by filling the dead space that's created by surgeries like tumor removals. After your body has the time to heal, the gel degrades and is absorbed. On a much smaller scale, like the size of individual cells, researchers are also looking into biomaterials that could deliver things like DNA directly into cells they otherwise couldn't get into. By creating biomaterials that mimic viruses, you can trick cells into taking in these molecules like some kind of cellular Trojan horse. We might even be able to use them for cancer vaccines. But like anything in science, and especially medicine, there are certain protocols biomaterial engineers are expected to follow to make sure what they're designing is more than just effective. It has to be safe. For example, early research might include testing the material on cells outside of the body to get an idea of how biocompatible it is without risking anyone's life. Other times it might involve animal testing to see how a material affects the physiology of other animals before trying it on humans. But the proper precautions aren't always taken, and there have been some cases where devices that were said to be safe cause reactions as mild as a rash or as serious as death. Like the Dulcan Shield, an early IUD contraceptive. When it was introduced in the late 1960s, the Dulcan Corporation marketed the Shield as superior to other IUDs on the market. They said it had a lower failure rate at about 1% and that it was easier and less painful to insert and remove. And then people started getting infections, which was weird because the uterus is normally sterile. By 1974, it had caused problems in tens of thousands of people, including at least 18 deaths. Later, investigations revealed that the culprit was the tail string attached to the IUD to help remove it. The string was made of a bundle of thin nylon fibers with a shell of nylon around them, and it acted like a wick, drawing bacteria up into the uterus. Turns out the parent company that bought Dolken had known about this problem the whole time. When one of their quality control employees insisted they address it, the company fired him instead, something that would be illegal in the US today. On top of that, there were so many flaws in the human safety trial for the IUDs that it would take me another 10 minutes just to list them all. We'll discuss the ethics of engineering in more detail in a later episode, but what happened with the Dolken Shield was a clear violation of even the most basic safety protocols. They released a product they knew could be dangerous, didn't tell anyone about the risk, and hoped for the best. That plan didn't work out well for anyone. Biomaterials can be an incredibly powerful tool for improving people's lives, but as engineers, it's up to us to wield that power responsibly. So today we learned all about biomaterials. We talked about alloys like titanium and their coatings, the special chemistry of polyurethane, and the cross-linked structure of hydrogels. We also looked at ways to use biomaterials to boost the body's existing behaviours, as well as their enormous future potential. Finally, we talked about the importance of safety research. I'll see you next time when we'll shift directions a bit and learn about process control. Crash Course Engineering is produced in association with PBS Digital Studios. If you want to keep learning new things, check out It's OK.
Okay, done?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. So, I will be putting up a presentation topic on our classroom. Okay? So, doon na lang po natin i-upload. Okay? Yun pong ating materials na ginamit. Okay? So, for every group, ganun po yung gagawin natin. Just make sure, ang isi-send lang po doon is yung atin na PowerPoint. Okay? Pwede pong drive na lang din. Okay? Para link na lang din po para yun na lang yung kukuhanin. Okay, para hindi na po madagdag doon sa storage ng ating classroom. Okay, baka po kasi pag doon natin nilagay, okay, lahat, hindi na din makaya nung storage natin since it's almost full. Okay, so same thing with the videos, never upload it na lang po, kundi lang po, link lang po na pwedeng i-click ng bawat isa para po mabalikan natin when we have our review. Okay? Nakuha po ba yung sinasabi ko? Naintindihan po ba?
Yes po, ma'am. Doon po, ma'am, sa presentation po, pwede pong in PDF format po.
Okay lang, okay lang, okay lang. Basta maliit lang po na file.
Okay po.
Okay. So, everybody, let us have our attendance muna po before I end the meet. You open your camera, please. Hindi lang na dito.
Ano yun? Ano yun? Hindi ka masyado.
Anyone? Janela, pasuyin na lang. Yan pong mga hanggang ngayon hindi pa nag-open ng camera.
Ano yun?
Babalikan ko po lahat ng ating screenshots sa end ng semester. Ayan, para alam ko po kung sinong na-attend at sinong hindi. Okay na? Okay na, Neng?
Okay. Apo, wait lang po. 1, 2, 3.
Na?
Wait lang.
Okay na rin.
Apo.
Yan, nakabukas lahat.
Okay. I go to the bit 4.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, sa bit. Sure board.
Okay na, Neng?
Basic factor.
Hello? Okay na?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll end the meet now. Bye po.
Apo.
Just prepare po the other groups, okay, para po sa next meeting po. Okay? So, siguro mga, since 3 hours yung sunod, there could be siguro 2 groups, okay, to present. Okay, sige po. Bye po.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.